Tonight I want to talk about delayed cord clamping, why it's something that me and my wife for our children was something we demanded, and I hope and pray by the end of this video you will demand delayed cord clamping, or basically no cord clamping until the baby, your child, your future child, has received all of their blood. All of their blood. Let me point one specific detail out that I think everybody should want to grasp and need to grasp to make an educated, informed decision regarding delayed cord clamping. Well, the scientific evidence shows that it could actually save tens of thousands, if not 100,000 lives every single year if we just wait a minimum of at least 60 seconds. But even at 60 seconds, all of the blood has not yet been transferred into your baby, into your future baby. So that's why I'm encouraging you to demand your doctor not cut the cord until all of the baby's blood is transferred into the baby's body. See, the blood inside of the placenta, inside of the majority of it, inside of the placenta, inside of the cord, that is your baby's blood. That is not mama's blood, that is baby's blood. That is just going through the cord, circulating in the placenta to be able to link up with mama's blood so that mama's blood cells can transfer oxygen and nutrition into the cells of the baby's blood, and then baby's blood goes back through the cord into the baby's body. And that's baby's life support. That is baby's life support. The cord, the placenta, the connection there, that blood is baby's life support. All of that blood in that cord. So if that baby is born, once baby is born, if we cut the cord or we clamp the cord, what those doctors are doing is they are cutting off and restricting the amount of baby's blood that gets back into the body that is baby's blood. Thus, baby is now deficient in things like iron, hemoglobin, oxygen transport may be restricted then. All of these things and health consequences will ensue. And do ensue, and even deadly consequences can result by cutting off and restricting the amount of blood, baby's blood, that baby gets after baby's born. Allow your baby to get all of its blood back into its body, because that cord will turn from a bright purplish red, and you will watch that cord transfer all the blood back into baby. I watched this firsthand with my little Magnolia. I'm telling you right now, that is a miracle in and of itself, that literally this tissue still pulsates, still pumps, still works. The blood goes from there into baby. And then once it's pure snow white, now I know our baby's got all the blood. All her blood back. I don't know how long we waited, probably, 20, 30 minutes. I have no clue. Because we weren't timing it. We determined when we were comfortable in clamping and cutting the cord, we determined that by the fact that that was a snow white cord, meaning my baby Magnolia, had gotten all of her blood into her body that she needs for life support. So I just want to encourage you that, and I want you to demand it, because the reality is the adoption of delayed cord clamping or no cord clamping until all baby's blood is transferred back into their body has not yet been significantly adopted by the medical community, although ACOG, the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, has made the statement last year that they would encourage delayed cord clamping. Sadly, though, their timing is 30 to 60 seconds, not until baby gets all of its blood. And especially in preterm babies. If you have a preterm baby, I'm going to tell you this right now. If this is all you watch, listen to me right here. Because I've been watching and I've been looking at comments in regards to this article on the TV screen behind me, the article that we're primarily going to be discussing tonight. And that article is titled, "Premature Babies, Simple Procedure by Australian Doctors Could Save Thousands of Lives Each Year." Listen to me with this one thing. If you are expecting a preterm baby, my prayers are with you, number one. But number two, please, please, please demand, and demand again that those doctors do not cut the cord. Do not clamp that cord, because your placenta, the blood within that umbilical cord, that is baby's life support. Folks, what is baby's life support inside mama's womb? It is the blood being fed back and forth inside that cord from interacting with mama's cells to going back into baby and giving oxygen, giving life support. That is baby's life support. The cord is baby's life support. See, what I've witnessed and I've seen from individuals, because there's a lot of midwives, natural birth community members, people who are upset about the fact that thousands of babies have died as a result of cord clamping. As a result of cord clamping, thousands of babies have died. And they're upset about that. Now, there are women out there and parents that are saying, listen, don't be so hard on the doctors. They were doing what they thought was best. The reality is there was no scientific evidence to say that cord clamping had any benefit whatsoever. And some would even say that, hey, in an emergency situation with an extremely preterm baby, seconds may mean the difference between life and death. Yes, I understand that thought process. But think about this. What use is clamping and cutting off baby's natural God-given life support, clamping off their life support, and then transferring them to man-made life support? What is the logical explanation for doing such a thing? Why not transfer baby, still connected to God-given life support, the umbilical cord, without a clamp, allowing blood to transfer into baby, giving baby the oxygen, the life support it needs at that moment in time? Why not allow that connection to remain intact until you get them to man-made life support and start assisting with your technology that does save lives? I'm not being hard, and I'm not against the doctors who, I guarantee you, folks, even the ones that have clamped cords as soon as they could, they didn't mean to kill our babies. They didn't mean that. But the reality is that's what they were doing. But sadly, some doctors aren't keeping up on the scientific literature and the evidence. That's why we as a public, an informed population, need to demand that ahead of time, inform them, and assist them in changing the way they're thinking and the way they're practicing, so that the next family that comes through their doors, they're going to suggest delayed cord clamping because of the information you shared with them. So if we get pregnant mothers out there, I strongly suggest, if you're going into utilizing any type of medical physician for your birth, even your midwives maybe. Most midwives are strongly in support of delayed cord clamping or not cord clamping until all blood is transferred. Please share this study and information with those medical physicians, because we need to start saving babies' lives, all right? So again, the title, Premature Babies, Simple Procedure by Australian Doctors, could save thousands of lives each year. There's a problem with that title, and as soon as I read it, I immediately got kind of frustrated and angered. All right, and I want to explain myself, and I would love for you to just share with me on Facebook right now if you're watching this, and on YouTube as well. If you comment below, if you share my frustration with the way in which they speak. Granted, I love the fact that this information has gotten out through media channels, through Australian media channels, some in the United States. The reality is I'm thankful that more people will understand that delayed cord clamping will save lives. So again, like I said, we have the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology. That's a tongue twister for me for some reason. Delayed versus early umbilical cord clamping for preterm infants, a systematic review and meta-analysis. This is the study that they reviewed. All right, and I've read through that, but I'm going to simplify this for this video. Premature babies, again, a simple procedure by Australian doctors could save thousands of lives each year. You know what immediately popped into my head and why I got angered, why I got frustrated? Because it's not the procedure that is done that's saving lives. It is not doing a procedure that will save lives. Immediately the title starts to make it seem as if doctors are doing something to save lives. No, the reality is doctors were doing something. They were intervening when they shouldn't have. They were cutting off babies' life support, and thus babies were dying as a result of their intervention, of their procedure. Their procedure led to less likelihood of life. Key points of the study include waiting 60 seconds before clamping umbilical cord could save thousands of premature babies. Australian doctors say findings will change how preemie babies are treated. Doctors say delaying clamping is safe for mothers and babies. Duh, it's natural design. How do you think that was like unsafe to not allow the blood to go back into babies, since that's what's going to automatically happen if you don't do anything at all? Are we watching all these animals in nature because they don't turn around after they birth their calf? A cow doesn't turn around and chew off its umbilical cord within seconds to cut off baby's life support, the umbilical cord. We would have watched animals die. There would be evidence of harm. There is none. They found waiting 60 seconds before cord clamping umbilical cord reduced the risk of deaths by 1/3. University of Sydney professor Jonathan Morris, who was one of the leading researchers, said delayed clamping was standard practice for full-term babies, as it had been shown already to help babies adapt better to life outside the womb. They said that the study said it was safe for premature babies too now. See, what the problem with that is, they are not doing research to establish safety of this procedure, the clamping of the cord. They had never done the studies to establish that it was safe to clamp a cord. Because the evidence shows that it's harmful and deadly. Literally, they said 1 out of 20 babies, premature, extremely premature babies, 28 weeks and younger, out of 20, 1 extra life could have been saved had doctors never cord clamped. It meant for every 20 babies born at less than 28 weeks that received delayed cord clamping, 1 extra baby would survive. They say this is such a significant finding because it's such a simple intervention. No, what's going to save lives is doctors stop intervening with natural design, period. This is why I'm so frustrated, because this action, I didn't put it up there, I apologize, but I have another one. I have ACOG. They in fact state that since 1950 is when they started, roughly, that they can see in the literature that they started cord clamping at all. They started cord clamping, and because there was no scientific literature or evidence for any recommendation on what's the best time to clamp the cord, guess what? Doctors, just out of convenience, started clamping the cord earlier and earlier, and so they just started doing it out of habit. It was habitual. It was ritualistic now. Folks, you think your doctor is basing his decisions and his actions and his interventions. This is an intervention to clamp a cord. That was the intervention. To not intervene in natural design, to not be ritualistic, to not do something that doesn't make any logical sense to my brain, or I don't know why anybody would think it would be beneficial to stop baby's blood from entering back into the body, which is carrying life support and oxygen and nutrients. How is that logical to stop it as soon as you possibly can? As soon as baby's out, clamp the cord. They had no scientific justification for that act. And because of their unscientific intervention, millions of babies are not with us today. It's simple as that. Over 50 years have gone by without scientific evidence for any benefit and even any risk of harm. They didn't know. They didn't do anything about it. They didn't care. I don't know. So what I would say is right now as a population, if they're doing something up until 2017, and even before that they had the evidence, because this is a systematic review, they had evidence. So it was years prior that they had the evidence for it being great, life-saving, and they still didn't do anything or were slow to act. if they're 68 years it took them, 67, let's be, okay, 2017, so 1950 to 2017, they had no evidence of safety of clamping a cord, but they did it anyways. How many other things is your doctor doing right now out of habit and without scientific proof of benefit for you or your child? Just take that for what it is. Start questioning everything else they're going to do that day your baby's born. Maybe it's the hepatitis B vaccine. Maybe it's the vitamin K injection. There's an intelligent design why baby does not. There's a reason there's a reason there is not high levels of vitamin K within a baby's bloodstream for the first few days of life. Folks, there's an intelligent design, but what medicine does is they believe upon their actions like it's a religion, and whatever they do is to be done, is okay with them. They don't need evidence, they just do it. They don't need evidence of safety. They don't need evidence whether it's good or bad. They're just going to do it. The reality is the vitamin K shot has a black box warning on it, folks. That means it can kill babies. It has killed babies. There has never been a randomized controlled trial looking at hundreds of thousands of babies, some with vitamin K, some without, looking at which ones have better outcomes. There is no evidence that the vitamin K shot saves lives because it's not been properly evaluated to save lives, and it has been established to cause immediate death through anaphylaxis. It has a black box warning. So just start questioning. That's all I'm asking with this. Why is this procedure effective, they say. And they explain why it's effective. They theorize it may be that the baby has more time to adapt itself. Is it because there is extra blood in the baby's system, ? Or possibly it's affecting the baby's resistance to infection because of an added transfusion of white blood cells? I would say duh and duh. That's what I would say. I'm sorry, that may not be very respectful, but I would just say duh. Yeah, that's common sense. Baby has more blood, more immune cells, more nutrition, more oxygen, more iron. Yeah, blood is life-giving. That's why I was like, this is literally, and it immediately popped up in my brain was like, you're literally saying that it's okay that baby doesn't get all its blood back if you were saying cord clamping is okay. Leviticus 17:14, the life of every creature is in its blood. And the life of every creature is in its blood. Give babies all of their blood before you cut that cord, please. Again, they're stating in this research study that they will see about 100,000 babies, premature babies, live out their life because doctors don't intervene. Here are my final thoughts with this. The reason I got frustrated, the reason I got so upset, my wife even had to calm me down. I'm like, literally, this is what doctors are doing. These medical physicians, by saying that, I hope people understand me, they're saying that not clamping the cord is an intervention, that it is a procedure. Just by using those terms, it is not an intervention. Waiting 60 seconds is waiting 60 seconds. It is not intervening. It is allowing nature to take its course, do what nature should have been doing in the first place. Had you not intervened, those babies would be here today. That means that doctors and researchers and the medical professionals need to sit here and apologize. They deserve mothers and fathers of preterm babies and babies that have died as a result of cord clamping. Doctors, they blame it on something else, an infection. They blame it on, oh, baby just couldn't get enough oxygen, not enough blood. We couldn't act fast enough to get baby another person's blood. Well, had you never cut off life support from that baby, their cord, that baby would be with us today. It is by their intervention, it is by their unnecessary, harmful, illogical procedure of clamping a cord immediately for convenience is why babies are dead today. It just upsets me that they're twisting it. Like, does everybody feel this? Like, do you feel this? Like, am I the only one? Like, I wonder, am I the only one that gets so frustrated that the medical community will twist the words around in this article? Now, the person There is an email address on here that if you know anything about this and want to chime in on this story, you could have. investigations@abc.net.au for Australia. So email them and say, yes, I would like you to go back and tell these researchers, these medical physicians, and get a public apology by every single gynecology and obstetrics community and association. Have them come out and publicly apologize for killing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of babies that aren't here today because of their actions, their interventions. Parents deserve an apology. It was a mistake, I understand. But even when my son makes a mistake and knocks his sister over, I ask him to apologize. I don't say, oh, that was an accident, you don't need to apologize. There's still an apology that's necessary. So I'm not saying that all these OBs are evil people. What I'm saying is, it is wrong to sit here and say that what you're discovering is a procedure or intervention, when in actuality, the intervention that you were performing by clamping the cord was exactly what was killing babies. And you're sorry for doing something without scientific evidence, and it was a mistake. And you apologize publicly to all the parents who've been robbed of their children. That's what I would do if I was in their shoes. Hey everybody, I'm the Wild Doc, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you hop on over to thewilddoc.com. Subscribe there for our newsletter and email campaign. Join in the conversation on Facebook, and let's transform the world by unleashing the power of natural healing.